Welcome home, horror fans. My name's Adam.
And I'm Zoe, and these are the top 10 saw trap victims that should have survived.
That's right. These are the 10 saw trap victims that left us too soon and really died a little earlier than we would have liked.
Or maybe they're just characters that we really, really loved, even if they're not great people.
That's right. In some cases, I think a lot of these people definitely died just a little early because we would have liked to have seen more of them. But a lot of them also just deserved to win their trap and survive and move on.
Maybe aside from a few.
Yeah, possibly. And starting with a really great case in that point, number 10 we have...
Gabriella from Saw X.
Follow my instructions carefully, Gabriella.
Fuck.
Definitely deserved to live after her trap. I mean, for a start, she did actually win.
Yeah, exactly. Gabriella won her trap. Gabriella's a really complicated case because she is involved in a scam. She's done the complete wrong thing by John Kramer. Not that he's innocent either, but
That's
yeah,
right.
complete wrong thing by John Kramer, but she is, in his eyes, rehabilitated. So technically speaking, she should not have died.
We need to get her to a hospital. She won her game, and she deserves to live.
Oh, does she now?
Exactly, and this is a really quite sad scene to watch because, you know, we do feel bad that Gabriella does lose her life. We sort of are rooting for her in this case.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Amanda has a really bad reaction to this as well.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it harder as well. I think Amanda's kind of shared experiences with Gabriella is touched on so well throughout the film. So when Gabriella finally does kick the bucket, Amanda's reaction is not nice to watch.
That's right, and it really feeds through to us, the audience, to sort of get that rage a little bit like, oh, Jesus, that's he's a real piece of work.
Yeah.
So Gabriella, definitely an easy one to put on this list, definitely deserved to survive. And that brings us to number 9.
At number 9, we have Officer Daniel Rigg from Saw 4.
Maybe a little bit more of a hot take, Daniel Rigg. This is a guy who pretty much died just for doing his job, trying to save people, and ultimately going through a door.
This one is ridiculous. And if anyone says it's a hot take, they are crazy. Because Daniel Rigg dies because he goes through an unsecured door.
You know never to go through an unsecured door, ever.
Are you joking? He's just trying to help people. The whole test is like, oh, guess what? You need to learn to stop helping people.
That's right.
He's a police officer. It's what he does.
Tonight, you face your obsession.
What you can't do is save everyone.
I hate this trap so much because, like, Hoffman and John, they're like, you know what? We're going to tell you Eric Matthews is alive, but don't try and
Don't
save
save him.
Definitely don't do that.
Eric Matthews is still alive. Will you learn how to let go and truly save them? The choice is yours.
He missed his opportunity of saving Eric by 1 second.
A horrible death. A horrible death.
horrible.
He didn't really deserve to die.
No.
He did so well throughout this film, and we would have loved to have seen more of him as well.
Oh, definitely. I would have loved to have seen him. I would have loved to have seen him and Cary duo. Duo a film together, I feel like would be really
Really
cool.
phenomenal.
More
RIP.
than they did in Saw 2.
Old Daniel Rigg, gone too soon, unfortunately.
For sure.
And that brings us to number 8.
At number 8, we have Lynden from Saw 3.
Given the task of saving John's life through a ridiculous operation in the middle of a dirty warehouse, she does everything right.
Everything right.
Everything
whilst
right.
also being terrorized by
Yeah.
Amanda the entire time. Called names, beaten around, slapped around. Like,
Yeah, she gets pretty much like a trap, sort of as trapped 1.5 because she has a normal trap and then she's also got Amanda terrorizing her, which wasn't really part of the deal.
No,
Throughout the whole thing.
No.
She does a great job. She manages to pull off this phenomenal operation that probably no one else could have done, let's be honest. It's hard just to watch. let
wow,
alone
that's
do.
why Dr. Gordon suggested it.
Well, that's
Come
right.
on, get
Good.
with the program.
She was a good choice, definitely. She pulled it off.
Yeah.
She did everything she was supposed to, and in the end, her head exploded. For what reason?
Because I don't even remember now.
And on
Was
that
it?
note, she
It's
did not deserve to die.
It's because John died.
It's all because
yes.
John died.
It's
and this
Jeff's fault.
It was Jeff's fault, but realistically, she didn't deserve to die. She did everything she was supposed to in terms of her test. And that also counts dealing with Amanda throughout this.
What are you doing?
Are you gonna behave?
And we loved Lynn as well. I think that's a big part of it too. Great character. I mean, look, if she'd survived this film, she probably would have become an apprentice too, like every other bloody person in this series. So I think that was really sad. She definitely didn't deserve to die. An easy one to put in this place. And that brings us to number 7, which you guys are really going to love.
At number 7, we have Jeff Denlin from Saw 4.
See your fucking hands! Where is my daughter? Use my...
Now, joining old Lynn is her husband, Jeff. Everybody loves slow MFer Jeff. Now, Jeff, of course, we all know his story. He goes throughout Saw 3, has this amazing storyline where he has to basically help people who took a part in his son's death.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible thing to do anyway.
And you know what? Let's kill his wife. Let's lock his daughter in a room that Jeff will never find if I die. Like,
Yes.
why did Jeff get it so bad?
Jeff had it really bad.
Really bad.
So he's put through the ringer. He has to save people that are really basically assholes. And then in the end, he kills his wife by accident.
Because he thinks he's doing her a justice by killing her captor.
Yeah, and how does he die in the end?
He gets shot
He gets shot
by
by
Strom,
He gets shot by an
who
officer.
thinks that he is the problem.
That's right. Yeah. So in the end, of course, he was supposed to survive. He actually survived all of that craziness. Like in everybody that died in that room, we're talking about Jigsaw himself. We're talking about Amanda, quote unquote dead, and we're talking about Lynn. They all die. He survives everything, all the craziness that has happened. And after all of that, the door opens and he just gets shot and dies. No, it wasn't meant to happen. Poor old Jeff. We could have just let him, he probably would have killed himself, let's be honest, after all that. But he really didn't deserve to die, you know? And I don't think you could argue that he deserved
You're
to.
telling me that Jeff died, but Bobby Dagan didn't? That's what you're saying right now?
We need to do a list of people who shouldn't have survived their trap victims. Just 10 Bobby Dagans. Jeff definitely should have survived. And it's kind of cool that he did survive Saw 3 at least. Unfortunately...
I mean, survive physically, but emotionally, I don't know.
Oh, emotionally dead, yeah.
Yeah.
Saw 4 didn't make it out. Very brief, unfortunately. But that's enough. We're going to move on. We're up to number 6.
We know you don't like Jeff Denlin, okay?
You will by the time we're done with you. Number 6 we have...
At number 6, we have Eric Matthews from Saw 4.
Eric Matthews. We love Eric Matthews. Of course, famously got his head squished completely to bits. Because
Rig went through an unsecured door.
Because Rig went through a door. And he, again, did not deserve to die.
Nope.
He didn't take any part in this. He was just hung up there with 2 big ice blocks ready to go. And he just was a blubbering mess, crying away. He just wanted to go home, you know? And he was really just trying to save his son through all this. He didn't do anything wrong.
Eric went through the bloody ringer.
Yeah.
Eric was imprisoned in a bathroom that was technically a rigged trap. He couldn't escape that. But he did. He escaped a rigged trap, only to be put into another trap where he couldn't do anything about saving himself. He was relying on someone else, which, fuck those traps. I'm sorry. But if you're put in a trap where you have to rely on someone else to save you, that is unfair.
It's always unfair.
That is
It's always
unfair.
unfair. And in this particular instance, of course, there's 2 real big points about why he's on this list. One, he didn't deserve to be in this trap and had no chance of getting out, not himself at least. And 2, we love Eric Matthews, so he shouldn't have
Eric
died.
Matthews.
We wanted him to live on. He really should have survived this trap and had more of a time in the Saw franchise. We would have loved it so much.
I mean, Donnie Wahlberg plays his character expertly. He's got enough humor and he's got enough charisma, but he's also very emotional. And his range is so good that every second you see him on screen, you love.
Love him.
And for him to be strung up for the entirety of Saw 4 by his throat on top of an ice cube, crying and blubbering the entire time, only to die at the very end is really, really sad.
It's really, really sad.
Really sad.
It's really, really sad. We would have loved to have seen a good ending, or at least a further down the line ending to Eric Matthews. And I think that he should have survived this trap just so we could have seen more of his blubbering mess because we loved it so much.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully we get to see it in Saw 11.
That would be amazing. You know, prequels and all, it's possible.
It is possible.
It's very possible. And that brings us to number 5.
At number 5, we have William Easton from Saw 6.
You killed my father, you motherfucker!
Now, who doesn't love William Easton? Everybody
I'm
does.
sorry. William Easton is a shit, but God, he's good. Very similar to Eric Matthews, I think.
Yeah, look, he definitely starts the film out as being someone quite despicable, and we all learn to love William Easton. And I know a lot of commenters bring it up. You know, everyone believes that William Easton was rehabilitated by the end of this film, and you can see he struggles throughout each trap to decide who lives and who dies. He doesn't want to be there. He doesn't take any glee in it.
Well, see, that's what I think is super interesting about William Easton as a character, because he is such a terrible person to start with, just like most health insurance goons are. But I suppose that's kind of the way that the cookie crumbles in a sense. But then there's nothing directly that points towards the fact that he's rehabilitated other than the way he's acting. It's never explicitly said, but he just plays the part so well that you know that if he got out, he would not be doing the things that he did prior to being put in this trap. And William Easton, to me, is one of the few characters that is rehabilitated after their traps. So I think it's very interesting that he died instead of exploring that. Like, we had this random girl pop up in Saw 3D from a news story saying, oh my God, yeah, Jigsaw saved me, ha ha ha. But it would have been really cool to see William Easton, someone who we'd watched for an entire movie, go down that path. We'd seen it with Amanda, and then we got it with some random girl, but it would have been cooler to see someone we knew.
It's true, and I think that the writers and producers would have probably had a really tough time with this decision of killing him off in the end, because maybe they would never have realized that the actor who portrays William Easton
Would have been as good as he
would
was.
have been as good, because, like you said, it's never specifically said that he's rehabilitated, but as an audience,
You
we
know.
feel through his acting that he has remorse now, and that he's a changed person. And now all of a sudden, it could have been a really great ending and a really great Jigsaw story if he had come out of this alive and rehabilitated.
Yeah.
And for that
thankful.
reason, that reason, he definitely should have survived. This would have been phenomenal. I know it's the shocking big ending, the way it goes down.
But see, I would argue that it's already shocking when you've got
course,
Hoffman intertwined with that scene with the bear trap on his head. And I honestly think that that scene could have been better had we not had to cut away from Hoffman being strung up in his bear trap and go to William Easton. If we had have just had a Hoffman scene, that's enough. That's enough of a Zep moment than having William Easton die.
Yes, they went for the big climactic ending,
course,
going back
which
and
is
forth.
fair.
But
It's
we all-
good.
Yeah,
It
it's a
just
great
could have been-
ending. Everyone loves the ending to Saw 6.
Yeah.
But we would have loved to have seen more William Easton, and we would have loved to have
Absolutely.
seen somebody come out actually rehabilitated.
Imagine William Easton in the support group
Yes.
going on about how, oh my God, like Jigsaw saved me, haha.
I feel like he would have written a book too.
It would have been like, oh, Jigsaw, I love you.
And he 100% would have become an apprentice.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
So that one, I'm sure you guys agree with William Easton on this one. How can you not have him on the list? Definitely should have survived after being rehabilitated. And really, this is what the point of the traps are all about, right? So we're getting pretty high up there now. We're at the number 4 spot. So someone special coming up. Who have we got?
At number 4, we have Special Agent Strom from Saw 5. I think Strom would have been a really powerful character to kill off in the final movie, in the last moments. Like, if you're going to have evil win, I think it would have been so much more powerful to have Strom to continue to chase Hoffman and everything down, or suspect Hoffman until the very end.
It would have been really cool for him to take down one of the apprentices, at least, you know?
Oh, for sure.
There's a few around,
Sure.
and it would have been great for him to nab somebody, you know? But outside of that, of course, he did also everything right. You know, we're surprised to see him beat an unwinnable trap already with the water cube at the start of Saw 5, and then really be hot on the tails of Hoffman and really get so close to him that we think at some point that maybe he's actually caught him when he locks him in that box. I know who you are. He's so proud of himself, I think, until his final moments. We're very proud of him. It's sad because we feel like he should have survived, whether that was getting into the actual coffin itself and surviving by playing by the rules, or the fact that he threw Hoffman in there and managed to maybe survive. We would have loved to have seen him survive and move on. At least another movie. I mean, come on, give us some
Well,
more Storm.
Storm, I'm telling you right now, is the perfect person to bring back in Saw 11.
Yeah, so that's right. I mean,
Or 12.
he's quite possibly, I mean, besides all the people we already have back, he's quite possibly our top pick if we could get anyone to come back.
I would just cry and die at the same time. I love him so much. Bring back Lindsay as well while you're at it.
We want Perez, we want them all, but Storm, if we could just have one person back outside of the ones we've already returning, amazing. Really amazing. And that brings us to the top 3, so let's give him somebody which a lot of people will probably think of who should have survived the trap. At number 3, we have...
Joyce Dagan from Saw 3D.
Now, Joyce Dagan, as you guys all know, was incredibly innocent, put into a trap purely for dating the wrong guy, Bobby Dagan.
Yeah, but she should have known better.
She should have known better, let's be honest. If you're dating a shit, it's on you.
Look, I think that this is another one that is comparable to like Daniel Rigg and William Easton, where not in the sense that she was rehabilitated or she freaking had to not go through an unsecured
She shouldn't have been there in the
door,
first place.
But she shouldn't have been there in the first place. In the sense that she is there because she has a boyfriend who's shit and has been lying to her the whole time and she didn't even know was shit in the first place. But she dies in the most violent, horrific, horrible, brutal way possible. Like, I'm sure we all think of the Brazen Bull when we think of really messed up saw traps. This girl is cooked alive. Like, for what? For what?
Purely to harm Bobby Dagan, purely to make Bobby Dagan feel bad for lying about being...
And guess what? Now you don't have a girlfriend. How's that?
That's right. It's not really great on John Kramer's part, or Jigsaw's part, to really have this idea that he's killing random innocent people to make someone else feel bad about what they've
was that
done.
just Dr. Gordon's idea to like be like, suck on that?
There are a few arguments about sort of who maybe designed this trap. A lot of people would say that John Kramer planned this all originally.
I don't think it was John Kramer
but
that put Joyce in that trap.
we are getting a bit sidetracked. We do believe that Joyce Dagan should have survived. She shouldn't have been there in the first place. It's horrible to see her die. The poor girl should have been saved. Let's be honest. She didn't do anything wrong. There was nothing that she could have done better.
And
Except maybe
just
jump out
another
of that relationship.
situation as well. Like, if you're going to put her in a trap, at least give her the chance to survive. Don't rely on her stupid boyfriend.
Exactly. Too many people die when they have no choice or no part in the actual trap itself.
It's ridiculous.
It's a bit sad, and especially if they had no reason to be there in the first place either. So definitely should have survived this trap. Shouldn't have even been in one, really. Which brings us all the way to number 2.
At number 2, we have Allison Cary from Saw 3.
Hello, Cary. I want to play a game.
You guys definitely would have guessed Allison Cary for this list. Somebody who not only is one of the fan favorite characters in the entire franchise, but was put into a trap which was rigged by Amanda, unwinnable, and we didn't get to see enough of her in the first place. She gets killed off at the start of a film.
What they did with her is very interesting because she does have enough of a presence to run an entire film, to have an entire film to herself, to have her detective plotline, just like Rigg does, just like Detective Matthews does, just like Storm does. But she never gets it.
She never gets it.
You think it's kind of going to be about her, and as when Saw 3 starts, and then she's put in a trap, which she wins, but dies anyway.
Should have survived, 100%.
Yeah.
She's kind of used as a fake-out character, somebody who's been there since Saw 1.
Yeah.
We love her. She's phenomenal. And they kill her so fast purely just to be like, ha, you thought she might get out of this. She was a big character. So it's a bait and switch, but it's sad because as good as that trap looks and as cool as it is, we would have loved her to really star in her own movie or even co-star maybe alongside Rigg or whoever. But she really never got the chance.
No.
She was always a side character, always only got little bits and pieces.
She's been there since 1.
Since
Rigg
the
was not
first
there.
film. That's right.
It's only Cary that's been there since 1.
It's very sad. And the fact that she did go through and pull off the unwinnable trap, but still not actually let herself out of it, very sad.
Very disappointing, Amanda.
Very, very disappointing. So that was an easy pick. And of course, this only leaves us with number one, which there can't be many options for number one. So you might have already guessed who this is. At number one, we have
Adam Stanheight from the original Saw.
Game over.
Adam Stanheight, the big name himself. He only survives, quote unquote, only survives one film. We love him so much. He never really gets a chance. And even then, is left alive in the bathroom all the way to the very end. But no one ever comes back and lets him out after his trap is over.
God damn you, Dr. Gordon. God damn
And John
you.
Kramer. I mean, let's be honest. Why are you locking him up? Okay, the trap is over. Let him out. He's just had an absolutely horrible time. Such a great guy, too.
Well, technically speaking, it's Amanda's fault because she was reckless with the key. Come on.
She was
Come
reckless
on.
with the key.
Amanda was reckless with the key. But Adam is another one that really upsets me because he's put in a terrible situation in the first place. Adam's tasked with surviving. Dr. Gordon is tasked with killing Adam.
That's it. That's it.
What the hell? Adam never had a chance in the first place.
We all know his story. At the start of the film, the very start, we see barely the key in the bathtub with Adam.
Fall down the drain.
And it goes down the drain the moment he moves.
And that's because Amanda allegedly was reckless with the key and threw it in a position where I guess he wouldn't see it.
Yes,
Which
right.
I think that is pretty convoluted.
little bit
But
much.
it is very, it's mentioned throughout the movies that it's like, oh yeah, you were reckless. You shouldn't have put the key there. But I'm like, kind of just threw it in. Like, where did you want her to put it? In his mouth? I don't know.
Well, that's it. He never knew the key even existed. And then once he basically woke up, that was
you've been
it.
kidnapped and placed in a dark room, you probably would be freaking out and not looking for a key.
Yes.
You'd just be like, why the hell am I in a bathtub with dirty water and in the dark? What? This isn't my apartment.
He doesn't know why he's there.
Yeah.
We don't even know why he's there. He's only there because he took some photos.
Yeah.
I mean,
He got paid to do it, but he's in
that's
trouble
his job.
because he did it.
He didn't really do anything wrong.
No.
He's just literally a poor guy living in a shitty apartment, gets put into an unwinnable trap because basically Amanda stuffed the key up, and he just got left in this room to die by himself.
And his boyfriend said he'd be back for him, and he never came.
He never
so
came.
really, it's the saddest love story in all of cinema history.
It's
Where
true.
were you when
It's-
he needed you, Dr. Gordon? Where were you?
It's true. I mean, we go on this roller coaster ride with these two characters throughout this entire film, and against all odds, they both survive. One of them gets out, says he's going to come back and return and save him. After all of that, nothing happens. Adam is just left to die.
Adam
We just
is
find
left
out,
to
you
die.
know what? He's actually a corpse now. That's it.
Because Amanda felt bad, and she went back and put him out of his misery instead of just letting him out.
Not really the ending we wanted for Adam.
Oh, I feel bad for you, Adam. Let me come in and suffocate you to death rather than just letting you leave.
Very, very sad. At the end of the day, he should have survived. He really made it through that entire film, and even when the credits roll, Adam is still alive. And by the time we finally see him again, he's just literally a corpse. That's kind of really a bit of a...
Very depressing.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing, but it's a bit cheap really as well. I mean, come on, we could have seen him do so much more. At least Eric Matthews got a bit more of a role in a later film.
I feel like when Dr. Gordon goes back to the bathroom in Saw 3D, he doesn't even linger long enough on Adam's body. He's not
No.
even like a little bit sad.
They don't
that
care.
He didn't save his lover. He's just like, whatever. That was a whole lifetime ago. I don't care anymore.
Just forgets about Adam completely.
Yeah,
Just
I've got
moves on.
my prosthetic leg. I don't
He probably
care.
just walked in that bathroom, saw his corpse, and was like, "Oh yeah, I was supposed to get that guy."
That's what it feels like.
He comes back 6
I'm
months
like,
later and goes, "Oh, that's right, I was supposed to do something."
I'm sorry, but we all saw that passion, Dr. Gordon.
Yeah.
You're just trying to forget the fact that you're gay. You're just trying to forget about that one moment where you thought, maybe.
I mean, look, when you walk away from seeing Saw 1 the first time, you do kind of think that Dr. Gordon's probably going to come back and save him, even though he's been
never
locked behind
does.
that door. So, anyway, that's it. That's our list. Number 1, Adam Stanheight should have survived.
Yeah.
If we missed anybody, let us know in the comments who you thought should have survived. And if you disagree with our placement, as always, let us know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you next time, guys.
Game over.